So, welcome to our starting meditation session. I thought I'll try a Facebook Live again, and if we struggle like this again, I think I'll go back to Zoom. It just seems to work so much better. And the quality of the video to put in our group from a replay perspective is so much better than the Facebook Live. So we'll see how we get on. So I shared a workbook in the meditation units section within our group. And this is something that you can just jot down some notes. Hi Claire, hi Helen, welcome. Jot some notes as we're going through, and it's something that you can use to kind of work on and see what works for you and what doesn't. So I'd like us to maybe do every Wednesday, if that works for everybody, a session on meditation, and we can explore different kinds, different ones, do some together and get some feedback going in the group on what we struggle with. Hi Beck, good to have you on board, and just see how our meditation practice can develop. But I thought I'd start off and just tell you a little bit about my relationship with meditation and how it's changed over the years. So I've been practicing as a healer probably for 15 years, and to a degree, I guess, when you're doing a Reiki session, in some ways that is a meditative state. But I wasn't always doing Reiki every day, so I can't say I did meditation every day. And then a few years ago, we were part of a circle, and meditation was encouraged, especially for us to meet our guide and really get to know our guide, what they wore, what they looked like, what they felt like, what year they were from. And when I followed that very well, I was able to get a huge amount of information on my guide, his name, where he lives, and I was able to even look it up on the internet and verify a lot of that information, which was amazing. Anyway, circumstances changed. We weren't part of that group anyway for a while. My meditation practice stopped, and most modalities, spiritual modalities, if you're going to be doing tarot or healing or whatever, along the line somebody will tell you that you should do regular meditation. And I was always sort of not so sure what was behind it, So yeah, it's a great thing, but I didn't get it. I didn't really get it. And towards the end of last year, I decided that I wanted to go full-time in my business. Hi, Kathy, good to have you with us. And that's really when I can say that meditation came on my radar. And slowly but surely, I started doing it more regularly and really got into it. And I'm now part of a mastermind group, and we do meditations on a regular basis. And the difference it's made to my ability to deal with issues, my stress levels, my intuition, my connection to source, my inspiration, it is so different, and it's a relatively short space of time. So just from my own story, if I had done it back then 15 years ago, goodness knows where I'd be now. And I'm not saying it from a place of regret, just just interesting to realize how far it does take you when you commit. So I do, whether it's 1 minute a day or sometimes half an hour a day, I do a meditation every single day. And it has made a huge difference. And if I have a question and I want some inspiration, some guidance, and to get the answer, I meditate. And it's about having that clear question and then being open to getting inspiration back. It doesn't always come in the way that you think. So, spirit has got a sense of humor, the universe has got a sense of humor, and sometimes it'll come up in books, songs, a car drive, a van driving down the road with a picture on the side, a friend saying something, and you'll think, well, hang on a minute, that's okay, Sarah, we're only just starting. I'm telling my story about meditation. We haven't got into the juicy bit yet. So the guidance and the inspiration comes from very different places, but it's about asking. You can't get that guidance if you don't ask. So very much, I guess, prayer and meditation are aligned from that perspective. So I just wanted to give you a bit of my sort of background and my story on meditation, and I love it, and I definitely wouldn't continue not meditating. I do it every day, and it's developing, and you know, I'm downloading some really interesting information that is going to help me with my healing work, which has been amazing. And I wouldn't have got that if I didn't commit to doing regular meditations. I don't always understand what I'm getting just yet because it's baby steps, but you know, that's, you've just got to have faith and trust that you're getting what you need. So let's talk about meditation for you. So one of the things that I wanted to cover is what meditation is not. So, you know, I guess it's like with anything. Even when I did my Reiki training, there were some people that said there's a right way of doing it and a wrong way of doing it. And there's other people that are more sort of, you know, go with your intuition, what feels right. How does, you know, it's your healing practice, and you'll know what you're meant to do. And meditation is pretty much the same. You know, you can meditate when you go for a walk, you can meditate while you're doing the dishes, you can meditate just before you go to sleep, you can meditate when you wake up in the morning. The point is, you're going to have to figure out what is best for you. So there isn't a right way that applies to everyone. It's what works best for you, and what is your motivation behind why you're wanting to do the meditation. So for me, I like doing it first thing. So before I start my day, before I start getting into the emails and all the work that I need to do, I start off when my mind is still clear, I haven't got onto social media yet, and then I connect in. And very often, depending on how that meditation has gone, I'll know whether I'm focusing on my spiritual business today or my other business. And that's my guidance for my day. And you will get into that for yourself. So you don't have to do it at a certain place. You don't have to do it at a certain time. You don't have to do all of those things. There are benefits though. So try it. Try laying down, try sitting down. You know, try it at different times of the day. Try it when, you know, if you're one of those people that fall asleep every time you meditate, then do it while you go for a walk. If you find it difficult to get into that sort of relaxed place and visualize, then listen to a guided meditation. Try one with music, try one without, try one on YouTube, try one, you know, that you're watching someone give you the meditation. So try lots of different things and figure out where do the different types of meditations take you. Are some just to relax you, and are others taking you on a journey, and that then becomes part of your sort of spiritual growth and development. So it's really about figuring that out. But what I've found, and I'm going to share with you today, is what works for me. So for me, you know, it's in my office. That is my space. The only other person that really comes into my space is the cats, and that's allowed, of course. Fur babies always. So it's my space. You know, I clear my energy in the space on a regular basis. This is my peaceful place. As I said, it's before I start my morning, so I have it almost like a ritual. You know, I make my cup of coffee, I put it down, I get my crystal, I hold my crystal when I'm doing my meditation, and my body knows that when I sit down, I've got my crystal in my hand and I put my head back, I go. Whether I'm listening to a guided one or not, it doesn't matter. And why that ritual is important is because it's like I'm preparing myself for that meditation, and meditation is like a muscle that you're exercising. So the more you do it, the easier it becomes. So I do it, as I say, in my office. It's on my chair because I do sometimes fall asleep, or it feels like I've fallen asleep. I do it every day, and it's a morning routine for me. So I have tried it other times of the day, and I don't get as much out of it. I've done some walking meditations, and they've been quite good as well. I quite like those out in nature. So specifically grounding ones, or ones where I'm trying to clear my energy, that works quite well outside as well. So the first question in the workbook is, what should you do to prepare for your meditation? So figure out what works for you, and then that will give you the answer to that. So let's move on to our next question, which was, what are some of the benefits of meditating? So I'm going to talk quite a lot about stress in a minute. But what it does is it allows you to be calm. So in my 20s, I was quite a, let's say, passionate and reactive to situations, and I would be quite explosive when things didn't go my way, and I wasn't the calm person that I am today. And part of that has been, you know, Reiki coming into my life, and oh, I hope I haven't lost everyone. Send me some hearts if you can still see this. Can you still see me? Oh man. Just my computer. This side. Okay. We've had some trouble with the live. Can you still see me okay? Just send me some hearts, or I think we had a big freeze. Is everyone still on? I think we've got 3 people on. Okay, so I don't know why I'm having technical issues today. Right, so we're talking about benefits of meditating now. So I'm going to talk about stress in a little while, but part of the benefit is the calmingness that comes from meditation. And thanks for the hearts. Great, glad we're back online. So as I was saying, when I was much younger, just before I started doing Reiki, which was the sort of first sort of introduction into meditation for me, I would be very reactive, very almost angry, I guess, and I would respond, okay, good, respond really emotionally to anything that happened. There wasn't any sort of thought or time between cause and effect. It was just, you know, that happened, that was my response. And I felt very stressed in my 20s, absolutely. And I don't feel that way anymore. You know, I'm quite calm. Yes, things get to me. I'm human. We all have those sort of buttons that get pushed. But on the whole, you know, situations happen, and I'm able to stop and think about what do I want as the outcome and what's the best way to get there before I respond to something. And I put that down to the meditation, the Reiki, and all of that coming into my life. So definitely being able to calm your mind, calm the thoughts as well. Anxiety absolutely has made a massive difference for me. But also when you're stressed, you know, you're only able to think in a very sort of limited way. And I'm going to get into stress because that is probably the single biggest benefit. And I posted a video earlier today that was by he's a medical doctor, but he's written a number of books. And he explained the stress elements so well. So if you haven't had a chance to have a look at that video, I don't think it's particularly long, maybe 10 minutes. But he really got into what happens to the body when we're stressed. And all of us probably have lived in stress almost permanently. And it's so incredibly bad for us. So on some level, we know that, you know, stress isn't good for us. And we have sort of a level of stress that we might consider as healthy. And then there's that sort of unhealthy level of stress. But in general, what happens with the body is stress is the same to the body as having a physical threat. So that kicks off the fight or flight response. That's what stress does. So there's a couple of things that happen to us in the body that I'm going to run through when we're experiencing stress, because the body will respond to stress the same way that it would respond to a physical attack. So think back to caveman times when, you know, we had tigers and all sorts of things wanting to eat us. Then, of course, the body is going to give us two choices, run or fight. So what happens then is the brain kicks in certain things for the endocrine glands to deal with this threat. And what starts to happen is you start to perspire, you probably will overheat, and you overheat because your sweat is then on your skin, and that helps you to cool you down. So that while you're in that sort of fight mode, you're going to be overheating from the fighting action. So the sweat is there to help keep the body cool, funnily enough. You start to breathe more rapidly, so you're pulling more oxygen into your bloodstream. This increases your blood flow, your blood pressure, your pulse, and obviously stress on your heart. The blood leaves all the non-critical areas of the body and stays in your arms and your legs, because you need your legs to run and your arms to fight. The blood flow then obviously is not in all of your organs. And one of the key areas that it isn't in is your digestive tract. So stress and the impact on our ability to digest food, the weight that we gain or that we can't hold weight, all of that's related to the impact of the digestive tract not having the right blood that it needs due to stress. Because your digestive tract stops digesting food. And then we get the lovely 3 stress hormones that get surged into the body, which is adrenaline, cortisol, and glucagon. And we're going to have a look at what that means. So your blood sugar spikes as glucagon tells the pancreas to slow down your insulin production, because what this does is spikes the sort of sugar level in your blood, because your body thinks you need to run away, so it needs that extra bit of blood. So that's like eating 5 chocolate bars in a row. So now you've got the sort of hyper energy, which is kind of how we deal with that stressful situation, because, you know, we have the energy to deal with the situation, but it's not positive energy. So then all of our other nervous systems shut down, so that all we have to deal with is the threat. So what does that mean? Your growth hormone shuts down. So things like hair, nails, skin, cell development. Bearing in mind that our cells need to be regenerated on a regular basis. So going back to digestive tract, we regenerate the digestive tract every 3 days. Well, if our nervous system is shut down due to stress, how is it regenerating the cells in an effective way? Sex hormones and the health of the entire reproductive system are shut down. And then, you know, as you might die from the threat at any moment, what do you need your immune system for? Because, you know, we'll worry about fighting off germs when we've fought off this tiger that's trying to kill us. So our immune system's shut down. So how often have you been stressed out only to figure out that every time I'm stressed, I come down with a cold? Well, funny, that is because you don't have an immune system. And then, interestingly, the platelets in your blood, they're the hard parts of your blood, they start to thicken in anticipation of this tiger maybe biting you or scratching you, that you're going to need to, you know, your blood's going to need to thicken and scab over. So your blood is thicker. So what does this do? This puts even extra stress on the whole circulatory system and all of that. So I'm telling you the physiological effect of stress on us and what this does to us. So, you know, a little bit of stress now and again, maybe not so bad, but a permanent state of stress, we then end up getting chronic illnesses like fibromyalgia, Crohn's disease, migraine headaches, skin disorders like psoriasis, because we don't have that ability to deal with any issues, because all of our body is focused on fighting that stress. So adrenaline, for example, it revs up the bloodstream, it makes our heart pump harder, narrows the blood vessels, increases blood pressure, less blood to the intestines, and sends the blood to the arm and the legs so that we can fight. And this is what happens to the body. So increase in blood pressure, heart stress, coronary heart disease, increased stress hormones, anxiety, insomnia, addictions, increase in blood sugar, diabetes and obesity, a decreased blood circulation to the digestive tract, digestive issues and the related issues from that, suppressed growth and sex hormones, premature aging, a lowered immunity function, infections, chronic illnesses, cancer, increased stickiness of platelets, heart attacks and strokes. So you can really see how bad stress is for us. So I'm not saying this to scare everybody, but just to really see some of those symptoms are symptoms I recognize, you know, and I'm sharing that with you so you can see how important it is that we have a consistent meditation, because what that does is it starts to help us deal with stress so that the stress doesn't put us into the fight or flight mode. And it's what's called a pattern interrupt, which I'll get in on another live. So just getting on to cortisol, for example, some of the negative aspects of having cortisol in the bloodstream is decreased bone density, again, higher blood pressure, lack of clarity. So we talk about brain fog. This is where it comes from. Suppressed thyroid function, sugar imbalances, so hyperglycemia, diabetes, suppressed immunity and inflammatory responses, and my favorite, increased abdominal fat. Show me the belly. So it's all down to stress. So let's have a look. How can we stop ourselves from having this happen to us? And it's by having a de-stressified response. So what that means is that when situations happen, we are reacting straight away because we're already stressed. So we're just compounding that stressed feeling and getting more and more stressed. So what you're able to do when you're meditating is, because you're already calmer, when that situation happens, you don't react, you have time to think, and you look past it, and actually a lot more of the times you'll find the situation funny and it just won't get that same response. So what happens is that you're already in a calm place, so you're already breathing slower, your heart rate is lower, your pulse is lower, you're functioning normally from a digestive perspective, your stress hormones are slower, so your immune system builds back up, and so on. And it becomes a cycle. Because all of those things are back in a normal flow, you don't react in the same way. And slowly but surely, you start to realize over time that when you compare today you to 5 months ago you, there's a marked difference. So I wanted to get into a little bit of that, just so you could see some of the real benefits to doing a meditation. So let's look at what else have we got on our workbook. Yeah, I agree, Sarah. Optimal nutrition is absolutely key. And, you know, so many of us, when we're stressed, one of the first things I hear people do is eat rubbish, so junk food, so sugar and snacking, you know, crisps, Coke, chocolate. Those are the go-to foods when you're stressed. Don't have time to then cook proper meals because they're stressed. So, you know, exercise goes out the window. So all of those good things that we would do to get over stress, we stop because we're stressed. So we've spoken about the 3 hormones that are released and why they're bad. So I'm going to share with you a 16-second method of meditation. So for all of us that feel that, you know, it's really hard to meditate, it isn't. And, you know, we're not going to get to that guru stage where we're going to sit and meditate for 8 hours straight off. It is something that every one of us can do. So let's look at, what would your meditation process be? So you find a comfortable place. Where are you comfortable? So you don't want to start getting into meditation and think, oh, you know, actually I'm uncomfortable, because then you're going to focus on that. So you want to feel you know, this chair for me is really comfortable. So get comfortable. Feet on the ground. Arms can be resting on your thighs, usually palms up. And then what you want to do is just close your eyes and just body scan. Now, what I mean by body scan is just really become conscious of your body. And I know that sounds quite strange, but when we're rushing around and in our stress and busy state, the body's kind of like the last thing we think about. That's just what's carrying us around doing all the things we're doing. So when you actually stop and just take a deep breath and just think about, how do I feel? Am I feeling tension anywhere? You will start to notice, for example, if you hold tension in your jaw and your teeth grind, there'll be tension here. Well, what does that do? That can cause migraines. So start to notice, am I feeling tension in my jaw? And even open your mouth and feel how that feels. So you can just sit and just close your eyes and just feel, where in my body am I tense? And actually consciously drop your shoulders. And slowly but surely you start to notice the tension slipping away. And that's the first thing, is getting into a little bit more of a relaxed state than when you start. So then what you do is you can slowly, with your eyes closed, so it doesn't have to be a guided meditation, you've done your sort of tension scan, you've consciously noticed where the tension is, and just as you're breathing, just consciously intend for that tension to release. So slowly but surely just relaxing, just relax that body. So with each breath in and each breath out, relax. And you can picture that tension just flowing into the earth. And it's just a really nice, peaceful place. So if you get into this position and you're just breathing in with the intention that the out breath is the tension coming out. And already you can feel that sort of calmness descending on you. And the 16-second method is you breathe in for 4, you hold for 4, you breathe out for 4, and you hold for 4. Now, it's not my count of 4, it's your count of 4. So if you want to do quick 4s, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's fine. If you want to stretch the 1, 2, 3, 4, that's also fine. Do what works for you. So the purpose of doing this is when you're breathing in, follow the breath in. Follow it coming into the nose, down the throat, down into the belly. Feel your belly expand. And just be aware of the breath in the belly while you hold it for 4. And then notice the breath coming back out for 4. And as it's coming out your mouth, hold for 4 and notice it dissipating into the air in front of you. And that's the exercise. So breathe in. And that's 16 seconds. And when you do that 4 times, that's 1 minute. And it's as easy as that. Now, the second part to this is when you think about something that has really annoyed you today, or really stressed you out, and you think about it, and then you do the 16 second, and then you think about it again. You do the 16 second and think about it again. What you'll notice is your level of irritation is less with each time you do it. So that's your homework. Go and try it. Let me know how you feel. Tell me how you get on with that. I'll do what's happened there. Tell me how you get on with that, and yeah, just give me some feedback. So I hope you've all enjoyed it. As I say, next week Wednesday we'll do a different one. I've got loads of different meditations to share. Later on down the line, what we'll start doing is working on the different chakras and just do quick ones on how do we clear chakras, and we'll do different ones with music, without music. And you can even do ones that are almost like affirmations, and they're really quite powerful. So to open us up for abundance and things like that. So sorry about the technical issues that we've had tonight. If anyone's got any questions or wants to know anything about meditation or anything else,